Okay, second overall pick is something we've been talking about a lot. There has been activity all over the place in the betting markets. As of yesterday, Jayden Daniels had separated, and it's even more now. Daniels now minus 400. You got to bet 400 to win 100. That's what that means. Drake Maye 3.3 to 1 odds, plus 330 to be the second overall pick. As of Friday, they were, via DraftKings, both minus 115. That was in the aftermath of the Top Golf clusterfudge that caused people to wonder whether or not Jayden Daniels didn't want to go there. Now, look, this isn't to go to Washington at number 2. This is just number 2. So part of this betting action is influenced by the possibility that someone like the Raiders, someone like the Vikings could try to go up to number 2 and get Jayden Daniels there. No clear reason to think it's going to happen, but if someone does trade up to number 2, they're trading up there to get Jayden Daniels. They're not trading to number 2 to get Drake Maye.
No, exactly right. Anybody that goes up to number 2 is trying to go up to Jayden Daniels, and that's going to take a haul to get up there and do that. Like you're talking about with your Vikings. I mean, they might have to throw in Justin Jefferson in that trade. I don't know. I think your point about them not having a contract with him is still very weird and odd. I mean, it's like, wait, is he getting $36 million or is he getting $34 million? What's he getting? Boom, boom, it's $2 million, blah, blah, blah. Let's figure it out. That is crazy. But yeah, I would think so. I think again, I don't know. I felt confident about what I said yesterday and the things you said, right? And the people that I trusted that told me about number 2 pick, right? I think that it'd still be Jayden Daniels to the Commanders. But yes, I think that he's the guy that if a trade does happen, Raiders, Vikings, whatever, it's going to be go to number 2 to get Jayden Daniels, as we've talked about a lot. And I think this is pretty standard, that Caleb Williams and Jayden Daniels kind of stand apart from the rest of the group as far as the quarterback conversation. They're in their own class, right? And that would be what the action's for at number 2.
So the only question left is then, is it Commanders or do they trade the pick? It'll be Daniels 2. Drake Maye becomes very intriguing after that,
right?
Because the Vikings, as evidenced by Kevin O'Connell saying last week, he sent a bouquet of flowers recently to Robert Kraft. Vikings would like to get to number 3, presumably to take Drake Maye. The Giants, ESPN, reported yesterday that they are considering trying to trade up to number 3, with the guess being that it would be for Drake Maye, not J.J. McCarthy. And I'm told that the thought is the Patriots, one of the reasons they're rebuffing these advances, they want Maye for themselves. And at some point, man, that puts a lot of pressure on Maye. You're the apple of multiple teams' eyes. Well, now you got to go out and prove it. Now you go out and do it. And you're going to do it with New England or maybe New York or maybe Minnesota. But at the end of the day, you got to go do it. And, if the Patriots take him at number 3, it's still close enough in time to Tom Brady to add a lot of pressure to the kid.
Yeah. No doubt about it. I mean, it is. He's going to be looked at as, can he be the next Tom Brady? Definitely. And then with him having a similar look, even to Tom Brady and a similar build, there's no doubt that'll go on, right? I had heard early on in the process New England liked Drake Maye, but they didn't like him at number 3, right? That's why in my mock draft, I had him trading with Minnesota, and then they get Drake Maye at 11. Now, I don't have anything concrete there to say, oh, I feel really strong about that. So I don't know. But is that a good situation for Drake Maye? It's certainly not bad. Jacoby Brissett is there, and I think Drake Maye needs some time to develop, and he won't be thrust into action, and they can depend on Jacoby Brissett. So, that'll work. But, yeah, I also look at it and know, I think a lot of people go, here's 2 things that are affecting this. One is Minnesota. And I think this knowledge that, yes, O'Connell and Josh McCown like Maye. So I think teams are kind of throwing Maye's name out there a little bit to get oh, hey, we like him. We got to give us another player, another pick if you want him. I don't know, right? I think there's a little of that. The Giants won too. I know that name's thrown out there. I get it. And I've heard that too. But I also would say it benefits them to throw that name out there for the guy they might try to trade up for, right? Again, it adds to the value of if somebody wanted to trade for their pick, let alone I think, what the other thing, too, with the Giants, and what comes to my mind, Mike, and hear me out a little bit, is Marvin Harrison Jr. goes 4, right? Okay? And now he's off the board like we were talking about with the receivers before. I think where they got to be worried about trading up a little bit is I do think there's going to be business for Neighbors at 5, right? Neighbors is loved around the league. People think Neighbors is a superstar. I know that from multiple people, right? They think he is. I hear Odell and those type of names thrown out when people talk about Neighbors. So I would think that the Giants really are hot on Neighbors. And like I said, I told you teams got Neighbors as a number 1 receiver, all the teams I know, right? I would also think they got to be worried about, wait, if we stay at 6 and the Chargers, who don't really want a receiver and maybe want an O-lineman, we could get jumped, and then we don't have a Neighbors available to us, right? And I got to think that's part of this conversation as well with the Giants, Mike.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.